What up, 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 what up? What's good, people? What is up? What is They went from the fourth level of hell and sent us down to the seventh level of hell. Why? Because then you got Kwanzaa pulling out her titties. The whore pulled out her titties. And these whore bags over here started feeling and fondling on her tits. Mike.
I don't have it to do with you. Girl, you can go over there, rant and rave. Girl, you can shake all your rainbow bright hair all you want, dear one. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this with you, dear one. I'm not doing this with you, dear one. I don't have nothing to do with you, and I'm done. Baby, you can scream my name from the rooftops from now till Jesus come back. I'm done after this.
Introduced to Tick's meat. Do you see what I see? Did y'all really hello, casting wardrobe? Y'all let him roll up out of wardrobe with these fans on, giving us all of this, thinking we were not going to see it? We have been waiting with bated breath and anticipating all season long for the slightest glimpse, and y'all just put it out there this episode in all of its magnificent glory.
Listen, that young man said, baby, you ate on this first date, you giving up the cooch on the first date, okay? Or you gonna run me my coins? Run me my cooch or run me my coins? Run me my cooch or run me my coins? Run me my cooch or run me my coins? That's our new theme song. That is the new song. Listen, somebody need to put a beat to that. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. That's what y'all got going on.
Called out Sandcastle. Sand, bitch. Ow. Oh my God, it was so funny, girl. Woo, baby, listen, let me tell you something. This shit started to turn into the precursor for some gay porn. That's what I thought it was. Because Big T is getting all, the voice starting to go deeper and get a little more wet and moist and sentimental and all this shit. And it was real gay at this point. Like, I thought the bitches was gonna, I thought Lil Murder was gonna turn Big T around and do him like he did Uncle Cliff and do the grease it up with City Lube and ran right in there. It's not a coincidence that Big T started off the conversation by trying to find out if Lil Murder was fucking Mercedes, which he found out he's not. It's also not a coincidence that he would start talking about prison. Why? Because the bitches was probably fucking in prison. Girl. Uncle Clifford, you better go get your man. Big T got plans for that. Well, he had on look like something Big Bird vomited up or something like that. Like, I did not like it. That Big Bird couture he was going for, it did not work. Like, the pastor of a gay mega church on Easter Sunday. Okay, it was way too much sequins. He had on way too much makeup. Baby, his face looked like Iyanla Vanzant's neckline. Okay, just way too much makeup clumped here everywhere on his face. Get it together, sweetheart. Like, you're a big girl, so that gives you a whole lot of canvas. So that was a whole lot of makeup, honey. Yeah. Rico looked like he was auditioning to be one of the three kings, or he was auditioning to be the main character on Jesus Christ Superstar. Girl, Wayne, did you have on a blue thong or a blue G-string or something? If you did, I want to see it. Get me up in my DMs, I do want to see if you have some blue thong or blue, jock strap, something like that. I'd love to see it. Anyway, but I liked it with the turtleneck. Now, Troy.
What's going on, people? Hold on just a moment. I'm ready. I'm really ready, y'all. Give me just a moment. Just had to post on Blue Social that we are live. Give me just a moment. And we'll be ready to go. All right, there we go. On Blue Social. All right, let's do it. Happy Monday. I hope you're having a magnificent, marvelous Monday. We are here. We made it through the weekend. Some of us less sober than others of us. Anyway, we are here. Chicken, get your chicken here. How y'all doing today? Welcome to Run Your Mouth. If you don't know who I am LTeddy27. We are live right now on YouTube as well as Twitch. So you can catch me over at youtube.com or you can catch me over on twitch.tv. It's LTeddy27 official on both platforms. And I'm just a small fish in a big pond who probably should not be taken too seriously. But I'm here to give the people what they want. Probably should not be taken too seriously. But we are here to give the people what they want. Got to give the people, got to give them what they want. And that's what we're here to do. Let me say hey to y'all. Say hi to all of my wonderful pupils as y'all file in and take y'all seats. Next to your good BFF Jill, next to your good Judy. We have a jam-packed dossier. The dossier today is jam-packed. We have so much to talk about, so little time with which to discuss it, but we're going to get through this dossier the best we can with fervency and zeal and make it do what it do as only we can. Go ahead, press the like button, share the video out on your social medias. Shout out to all of my people like Symmetry and some others who make sure that they make it their business to share us out on Bluesky and Instagram and on other platforms. Go ahead and do that, y'all. You know, it don't hurt. It don't hurt to hit the like button. It don't hurt to share the video out and shout us out and let the people know where to find some good news and some good information. We try to be truth tellers here, and we try to tell you stuff that you probably aren't getting from legacy and mainstream media as only we can. So let me go ahead and say hey to y'all, and then we can get this party started. Y'all ready to get the party started? Because I am. Chicken, get your chicken here. Anyway, who is first? Tracy W is first. Hey, Tracy W, how you doing, sweetheart? Hey, Miss Cookie Ray, you all right? My dog, my love. Miss Kiki is in the building. Hey, Miss Kiki. So glad to see you. We got Demetria in the building, looking ravishing as always. We love her. Hey, Candace F. How you doing, boo? With the beautiful smile over there. My girl. I saw my girl this weekend, Tanya. Hey, Tanya, boo. I saw my girl this weekend. We had a good time. My girl was on 2 wheels this weekend. Okay. She was on 2 wheels. Hey, Karen D, and good afternoon to you up in the NYC. Shout out to the NYC, the New York City delegation. Hey, Jeannie. Hey, friend. What's going on? What's going on? How are you today? How are you today, sir? Very well, I thank you. Run away. Remember, you had to learn that song when you was in like pre-K, when you learned your or 3 or 4 years old, you learned your little finger. Where is Pointer? Where is Pointer? Here I am. Here I am. How are you today, sir? Very well, I thank you. Run away. Run away. As I take us back to like 2 and 3 year olds. Okay. Whatever. Hey, China White. Do you see how they just tried to make me feel bad about that China White? Anyway, hey, Brown Mama. How are you? Chimera, I'm glad to have you here. Hey, Tamara. I see you got your face in the place like always. Good to see you. Hey, Miss Shorty Bean. Mm-hmm. We got my girl Sharice in the building over in Cali. One of my resident Cali girls. Hey, Janae. Oh, okay. Well, tell Terrence. I said, hey, what's good, bruh? Cha. It is, Sharice. It's so much foolishness. Child. Hey, Uncle Jay, what's going on? What's going on? Little baby, what is up, my love? My dog. Over on Twitch. Little baby is over on Twitch instead of being on the tube of you today. Shout out to all of my people over on the Twitch. Shout out to that. If you have not gone over and subscribed to our Twitch, I'm thinking about doing some lives from Twitch. Like I might do a members only live from Twitch. Well, what I might do is I might post on my YouTube for members only that I'm on Twitch, or maybe in the members only chat, and then do some Twitch lives to promote our channel over on Twitch. Hey, Montrez, what's good, bruh? How is everything down to the VA? What is going on? Hey, Shay. Hey, Shay. Hey, Shay. They ain't Demetria. They ain't worth a damn. Hey, Ash J, what's going on? Hey, hey. Child. Y'all have to be in 5 days. Child. A mess. You did the little dancing song with me? Okay, so I wasn't over here by myself. Okay, thank you, Janae. Hey, crazy homebody girl. How are you over there? You say you might switch over to Twitch. Well, we over there. I'm gonna do my best, when we go live to go live on both. So that's what we've started. Now that we've started that, we want to do that. I was just talking about you earlier, Symmetry. I don't think you was here yet. I was talking about how you always make sure to share us out on Bluesky, and we certainly appreciate it. As I was posted on Bluesky, I made sure to let the people know that you always make sure you post us out on Bluesky. Anyway, y'all, if you're ready to get this party started, go ahead and put a Shondo in the chat. We've wasted enough time. We done talked long enough. I told you the dossier is real packed today. So we have a lot to do and a little bit of time to do it in. I'm not sure if Really B is even going live today. I know if she's not home yet, she's on her way home. She should probably be home by now. But I know she was on her way home from the Atlanta. So she may be home and she may just take the rest of the day to rest, because I know she did a lot of driving today, and I know that can be sometimes that can be exhausting. So, but we'll be ready either way. Anyway, now that hey D Johnson, what's going on? What's going on? Yeah, I doubt she's going live because she's been traveling all day. So anyway, let's get this party started, y'all. Larry, the people are ready. We did have a good time this weekend. We did. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, non-binary, gender-conforming members of our audience, I bring to you the late great Larry Myers to help us usher in our Sugar Spike segment.
Oh God. You see, this is the part that I like.
Major sugar spike.
So loved the world, I want to fight. That he gave his only begotten son.
Major sugar spike.
And shall ever believe.
Major sugar spike.
They shall not perish, but have everlasting life.
Taste the biscuit.
Jesus! I wish somebody help me.
Jesus. Thank you, Larry. So listen. Remember when your current administration had all of that garbage to say? Oh, I saw that, Simera. I saw that. I'm not going to even talk about it, but I saw that. I did see that. Hey, Harold. Hey. Harold said he's feeling his straight beats today. Okay. Harold said he is straight today. He is thugged out. What to do, big bro? Y'all see how Harold all thugged out today? That's how you feel, Harold? You thugged out today? Huh? Child. Harold. Child. Y'all see Harold. Harold said he's serving trade today. He topping this order. He's serving trade today. Come get some of this good old countrified meat over here that we slanging. That's what Harold said. I ain't got nothing to do with it. Y'all go over to Harold. Harold said he's straight today, okay? He is slanging big countrified meat over there. Big, large, and in charge if you should need him. That is Harold. And we love him. We love him. Shout out to Harold. Anyway, hey, Lock Queen. Lock Queen, you see, we already clowning, Lock Queen. We is already clowning. Anyway, back to what I was saying, y'all. So remember when this administration was out here talking about see what child, that I heard that, I had heard that through the grapevine, Uncle Jay. I didn't want to say nothing, but that's what I had heard through the grapevine, Uncle Jay. That's what the people said. That's what they said, Uncle Jay. Split you right on in half, Uncle Jay. That's what the people said. But we're not gonna talk about that. We is not gonna talk about that. But that's what the people said. Anyway, as we continue on, uh as we continue on with the news and the headlines of today, remember when this administration talked about government efficiency? Remember when they talked about they wanted to control government spending? Remember that for the last 100 days or so, they've been slashing government programs, allegedly saving the Americans so much money, right? Well, yesterday, House Republicans released legislation that would increase Pentagon spending by $150 billion, pushing the total defense budget for fiscal year 2025 to more than $1 trillion if passed. Now, I really hate that I am a person with a lot of foresight and I call this shit out well in advance. Do y'all remember several months ago, just a few months ago, I should say, when I was up here screaming, blathering, and bloviating about on this very same platform where I absolutely said unequivocally with no mincing of words that there would be, before this year is out, $1 trillion of government spending on defense. Were y'all here? Put a 27 in the chat if you were here when I said that we would soon be spending $1 trillion on the defense budget. Remember that? Remember I was here? This was several months ago. Some of y'all were here. Hey, LNV. Child, Ellen, they say you got to be scared over there, honey. They say that thing will take out the moon, honey, if you let it. Hey, Catherine Powell. Child. I'm just wanting to know if y'all were here when we talked about this. Because we absolutely said on this platform, hey, Xavier, that we would be at $1 trillion in government spending very soon. And here we are. Now, this still has to pass. The bill still has to pass. But if you add right now, the current approved defense budget is $886 billion. And when you add $150 billion to that, that puts us over $1 trillion. If approved, that will put us over $1 trillion for defense spending for the first time in U.S. history. Yet, y'all don't want to do nothing to help people with student loans. Y'all don't want to do nothing to help people with SNAP benefits. We have millions of people homeless or unhoused, as they say nowadays, on the streets. We actually have children across this nation of ours that actually are living under the poverty line and go days hungry without food. We have that in these yet to be United States of America. But you decide that you want to increase military and defense spending to $1 trillion. This coming in the fucking wake of us learning that the people within positions of power down to the Pentagon are openly, I should say, putting our national security at risk. The people in positions of fucking power are openly fumbling the ball in their leadership. These are the people that, instead of keeping information classified, keeping information top secret, they're having not even fucking pillow talk. They're including their wives in open signal group chats that are unsecured and free to hacking. They have their wives and besties and BFF Jills all over all in there, right? These are the same people who just a few weeks ago fired all the people who were in charge with protecting our nuclear weapons, who were in charge with cleaning up after some of the nuclear waste that we have going on in this country. This is after y'all fired all of these people, realized that y'all made a mistake, and then had to hire them back, right? You want us to give $1 trillion to an entity that in the last 25 years has yet to pass an audit, yet to pass a single fucking audit. But y'all want to say, here's $1 trillion. To the likes of Pete Hegseth and their fuck shit, so they could act like they're around here playing Battleship instead of dealing with real people. This is what y'all want from us. I'm just saying. Hey, Cool 513 Natty, over on Twitch. We're glad to have you here. Y'all say hey to some of the new people over here that's here from Twitch. Hey, Quake Simmons. But this is what I don't understand. What I do not understand is, hey, Paul, y'all want us to give more money to the military industrial complex, but take money away from all of our government services. I'm just trying to make sense of this all. And you want to put this money in the hands of people who have proven that they are derelict of duties, people who have proven that they are not built to lead this level of an organization. People who have never been at these levels, people who have not been trained to handle these levels, people who you just fired the Joint Chiefs of Staff and put somebody in there who was not qualified to take the goddamn position. You got Pete Hegseth, who sent a non-for-profit into the red and drove it into the ground. And the people went belly up after he got through with them. So you want to put the most powerful military on earth that has the highest budget of any military on earth, and you want to put these people in charge of $1 trillion. I'm just trying to make this shit make sense. I'm just trying to get this shit to really make sense for me. I want to, because the fact that you have not balanced the budget or passed an audit for the defense, the Department of Defense, in the last 25 years tells me y'all have no fucking clue of what y'all are doing with the money that you already get. For all we know, you could have more than enough money to do everything that you want to do right now. But you just got your hand open and said, yeah, we need more money. This is the fuck shit that we got going on. Hey, Ronald, what's going on, sir? This is what y'all got going on, right? Hey, Cassandra, I just don't understand how y'all just want us to give these blanket checks to these big government industries. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, the part that they're not telling you is the bulk of that $1 trillion goes to defense contractors, all of whom have lined the pockets of politicians on both sides of the aisle. All of whom politicians on both sides of the aisle have millions of dollars in stocks with. Here's a question. How much of this $1 trillion that y'all want to give is going to go in the pockets of Elon Musk? How much of that money is going to go into the pockets not only of Elon Musk, but of those people that were sitting on the second row at the inauguration? You know, those billionaires that were sitting on the second row just behind the president at the inauguration? How many of those people stand to get huge swaths of that $1 trillion? I just want to know. Let me move on before I continue to spike out. I saw that, y'all, and I'm telling y'all, it angered my spirit. I spiked out because I saw this coming and I knew it was coming. And these people, the Pentagon has not proven that it can do right by any amount of money. I would not trust the Pentagon with $100, much less $1 trillion of taxpayer money. There were stories just a few years ago of millions of dollars being spent on things like crab legs. I'm not making this up. I'm not being hyperbolic or facetious. Hey, Chef Don, did you make it back home yet, Chef Don? We want to make sure all our people made it home yet. Hey, Chef Don. But listen, I don't trust these people. Hey, Jay Parrish, you say you going to your seat in the back? Okay. But I just want to know, y'all, like, I do not trust these people. Hey, Savon, how you doing today? Hey, DPG. These people, you know, spend money like it's going out of style. There's so much wasteful spending. You just landed. Okay, good. Glad you made it safe. Yeah, I mean, it's just ridiculous. Ridiculous. I remember D. Johnson, hundreds of $1 million not accounted for. I told you, they have not been able to pass an audit in 25 years. A mess. But y'all want us to give these people $1 trillion. Let me move on before I spike the fuck out. In more news, as we are not headed to an authoritarian dictatorship, where we are right in the middle of the first stage of our authoritarian dictatorship. You knew the beehive was gonna come. You knew the beehive was gonna come. But as we are in the early stages of our authoritarian dictatorship. So now this is, I keep telling y'all, somebody put in my inbox like a month ago, like, why do you keep putting all these stories about news and the media and things like that? Because things like stifling and crippling the media, I keep trying to tell y'all, is how authoritarian governments work. That's how authoritarian dictatorships work. They cripple and stifle the media. Well, then there's this. President Trump tore into a number of leading news organizations over polling conducted in recent days, showing his favorability with voters dipping. Quote, these people should be investigated for election fraud. They are negative criminals who apologize to their subscribers and readers if I win elections big, much bigger than the polls showed I would win, lose a lot of credibility, and then go on cheating and lying for the next cycle. Only worse. End of quote. Now, I know y'all really couldn't make a lot of coherent thought and meaning out of it, out of what I just said, because when your president bloviates about on social media, it's not really coherent. But so let me try to make sense of it. What he said is he basically called the people who do polls on political polls at various newspapers or various news outlets. He basically called them criminals. If he said if the polls don't agree with him or don't show him in a favorable light, they're criminals. He went on to say in another Truth Social post, quote, they are sick, almost only write negative stories about me, no matter how well I am doing. End of quote. He is, and while y'all may think, oh, that's just Trump being Trump, that's just Trump saying things, he doesn't really mean it. What has been proven over the last 100 days is when this man says something, his people and his sycophants and acolytes behind the scenes are doing everything to make what he says come to fruition. And so by him attacking polls, when him attacking these polls and surveys that come out and put him in a negative light, what he's saying to the heads and the C-suites of these media conglomerates is, don't put no shit out that disagrees with me or puts me in a negative light. So now we have complete and utter control of the news media, the news cycles, and even the polls that come out. So now you're told not to believe your lying eyes. Now everything that comes out must say, oh, he's doing well. Everything is beautiful. The whole of the American electorate applauds him and everything that he does within his duties as president of these yet to be United States of America. He went on to accuse major pollsters and top media outlets of, quote, suffering from Trump derangement syndrome. And there is nothing that anyone or anything can do about it. End of quote. Mm-hmm. Welcome to your authoritarian government. Hey, Janae. Hey, Tarshell. Listen, this is happening. I can't rule that out, Karen. They love to be friends with. They love them some Putin. Oh, we're gonna get there, Peril. Moving on. In more sugar spiky news, immigration and customs enforcement officers in recent days deported the Cuban-born mother of a 1-year-old girl, separating them indefinitely, and 3 children ages 2, 4, and 7 who are U.S. citizens along with their Honduran-born mothers. The three cases raise questions about who is being deported and why, and come amid a battle in federal courts over whether President Trump's immigration crackdown has gone too far and too quickly at the expense of fundamental rights. Lawyers in the cases described how women were arrested at routine check-ins in ICE offices. Notice I said routine check-ins, not people who were just hiding from the government and legally here. Routine check-ins with ICE. These women were arrested, given virtually no opportunity to speak with lawyers or their family members, and then deported within 3 days or less. The ACLU, National Immigration Project, and several other allied groups said in a statement that the way ICE deported children who are U.S. citizens and their mothers is a, quote, shocking, although increasingly common, abuse of power, end of quote. Listen, Gracie Willis of the National Immigration Project said the mothers, at their very least, did not have a fair opportunity to decide whether they wanted the children to stay in the United States. And these children are actual American citizens. Ms. Willis went on to say, quote, "We have no idea what ICE was telling them. And in this case, what has come to light is that ICE didn't give them another alternative. They didn't give them a choice, that these mothers only had the option to take their children with them despite loving caregivers being available in the United States to keep them here," end of quote. And that's according to Gracie Willis, who I told you is from the National Immigration Project. So rather than give the mothers to maybe let them stay with some family members or loved ones here in this country that may be actual U.S. citizens, they said, no, just let them go. Now, the 4-year-old is suffering from a rare cancer. And the 7-year-old is a sibling of the 4-year-old. And they both were deported within a day of being arrested with their mother. In the case involving the 2-year-old, a federal judge in Louisiana raised questions about the deportation of the girl, saying that the government did not prove it had done so properly. Lawyers for the girl's father insisted he wanted the girl to remain with him in the U.S., while ICE contended the mother had wanted the girl to be deported with her to Honduras, claims that weren't fully vetted by U.S. District Judge Terry Doughty in Louisiana. In a Friday order, Judge Doughty scheduled a hearing on May 16th, quote, "in the interest of dispelling our strong suspicion that the government just deported a U.S. citizen with no meaningful process," end of quote. They're deporting U.S. citizens without any due process. I told y'all that this would happen. I told y'all this would happen. I told y'all it was not going to stop with quote unquote illegal immigrants. I told y'all that actual U.S. citizens would be subject to this fuck shit. And here we are. Here the fuck we are. We have to move on. In more ICE news. Well, here's the story. U.S. federal agents early Sunday raided what authorities described as an underground nightclub in Colorado Springs and took into custody more than 100 migrants accused of being in the country illegally. And that's according to the U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency, the DEA. Quote, "What was happening inside was significant drug trafficking, prostitution, crimes of violence. We seized a number of guns in there," end of quote. And that's according to Jonathan C. Pullen, special agent in charge of the DEA's Rocky Mountain Division. Although Also, excuse me, some active duty military members were at the club, some of whom were working there and were there over and were turned over to the army. Quote, we had active duty service members who were running security at the club and involved in some of these crimes, end of quote. The operation came as President Trump is approaching 100 days in his second term, marked by a surge of controversial policies, including a crackdown on immigration in the U.S. Uh, in the U.S. The DEA and other agencies had been monitoring the nightclub for, quote, a number of months, end of quote. And that's according to Special Agent Jonathan Pullen. Authorities did not identify the club. During their surveillance, investigators documented drug trafficking, prostitution, and the presence of people suspected to be members of the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua, the international gang MS-13, and the Hells Angels, according to Special Agent Pullen. It wasn't immediately clear whether members of those groups were at the club during Sunday's raid. Agents from the FBI, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco and Firearms, the Department of Homeland Security, and local law enforcement participated in the raid on Sunday morning. Hundreds of agents across more than 10 federal agencies participated. When asked about what charges would be filed, Special Agent Pullen said on Fox News today that the charges will come, but gave no specific timeline. DA special agents announced their presence prior to entering the nightclub, and occupants were giving multiple warnings to come out. The DEA posted video on social media showing agents outside a building in what appears to be a strip mall, calling to the people inside. Quote, this is the police with a search warrant demanding entry. Exit the front door one at a time with nothing in your hands, held high above your head. End of quote. And those instructions were given in Spanish. Now, according to I'm just reading the article. According to these agents, they found drugs at the club, including cocaine and pink cocaine, also known as Tusi, Tusi. Never heard of Tusi, but yeah, Tusi, Tusi. Another video showed federal officers breaking a large front window of the building. People fled through the door, but were stopped by additional armed agents. Let me stop right here. I'm gonna tell y'all what was going on. These people was down to the club having themselves a good time, having a good old time. When they say that they were monitoring, hey, Katrina Taylor, they were monitoring it. You know what they were monitoring it for? They were monitoring it to see what type of people went into that club. Because I promise you, they had no way or mechanism. Hey, Tracy C. They had no way or mechanism of knowing exactly who these people were. They just looked at this club and say, oh, it's a whole bunch of them going to this club. Oh, it must be some shit going on. Let's just monitor this club for a few weeks to see what the clientele, hey, Ravine, what the clientele is at this club. Oh, it's a bunch of Latinx and Hispanic people down at this club. Yeah, we're going to bust through. And they came and bust through that. Now, I'm telling you, you telling me you found drugs at a club. Here's a news flash. Every club I know from sea to shining sea, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters, got oodles and oodles of drugs funneling through it. That's not a new phenomenon. And when you started just arresting people, what when you got these warrants, who were the warrants for? Did you call out the names on the warrants? Did you tell the people, all of the people how do you determine who's getting who well, who's a citizen and who's not? I told y'all we're at the point where we're going back to the year 1825. Remember when black people had to have their freedom papers? Remember, black people used to have to carry their freedom papers around to prove that they were free? I'm telling you, our Latinx and Hispanic brothers and sisters are at that moment where they're going to have paperwork and documentation proving their citizenship in the same way black people had to. And for the same people, and I'm not going to castigate the entirety of the Latinx and Hispanic community, because we have a lot. I hate when people make this blanket statement about Latinx and Hispanic people, many of whom did do the right thing, many of whom did vote in their best interest. And then there are the people who did not. And a large swath of those people who did not have to reckon with whether they're a U.S. citizen or not. They are going to be subject to this. The same rights that black people fought for hundreds of years ago are now being trampled upon. Because I got a news flash. The Birthright Citizenship Amendment, the 14th Amendment, was because of black people. Black people had to fight for that. Backs the blood, sweat, and tears of black people. And people took for granted when they came to this country a lot of the things that were afforded to them, neglecting or giving no credence to the work that went into having these laws enacted. And basically, many of whom gave the middle finger to the group of people who were directly responsible for you having these laws. And that is not the entirety of the Latinx and Hispanic community or the entirety of any group of people. But what I'm saying is, when you have large groups of people, when I look at the demographics of Hispanic males that voted overwhelmingly, over 50% for this man, you don't think they're going after Hispanic males first? That's the first group they're going after. Because it was okay when all of the ire was for black people, negating the fact that black people are the reason that we have just about every government agency we have is because of black people. That's the part they don't want to tell y'all. We have American citizens outright being gathered up and disappeared and deported. Welcome to the days of you having to have your freedom papers again. We have to be prepared for this. And I got a news flash for you, black people. Don't think that they're only going to target the Latinx community. You do remember, you do quite recall during the campaign when there was this whole thing against the Haitian community. And the Haitian community looks like our black asses. They don't know. They could start rounding us up, saying, is you Haitian or not? What's your last name? Show me your passport. Show me your official citizenship, birth certificate, and stuff like that. These are the things that we have to contend with. It's not going to stop there. That's why I always say, when you start to let these people come for one marginalized group, you have allowed it to be open season for all marginalized group. So what we have here is them just going to the club. Oh, it's a bunch of them people at the club. Yeah, let's go ahead and round their ass up. Lock all their asses up in the ICE detention center. We'll figure that shit out later. Because when they ask, what are the charges? What are they being arrested for? They said, oh, well, this is the beginning of the investigation. We'll figure it out and we'll let you know. Fuck due process. Fuck the rights that you think that you have. They do not care. They will arrest you first and figure it out later. Hopefully, in the figuring it out, everything works in your favor, because what they have proven is they're willing to deport you and say, oh, our bad, too late, they're going now, nothing we could do about this. And while that's easy to read when it's on a newspaper headline or on a social media post, it's much harder for you to read, or much harder for you to grapple with if it's you directly that they done shipped over there, or your family member and or loved one. Because it ain't just happening to the Hispanic community. I keep telling y'all, remember, we have a lot of our brothers and sisters, not only just from Haiti, but from several of the Caribbean islands that look like us. That's being rounded up too. Moving on. Yesterday, for those people who were not made aware, yesterday, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries and Senator Cory Booker, they held a sit-in on the steps of the Capitol building, a sit-in of more than 12 hours, where they were opposing and protesting the proposed budget plan, the same budget plan that we talked about that gives $1 trillion to Pete Hegseth and the Defense Department. Now, throughout the day, they were joined by other Democratic leaders, including Raphael Warnock, who came in around the 10th hour, and several other members of the Congressional Black Caucus and other Democratic senators and representatives. The sit-in started around 6 a.m. and ended after 6 p.m. Throughout the day, some of the senators that joined was Democratic Senator Chris Coons, and Angela Also Brooks. You had Democratic Representative Sarah McBride, Maxwell Frost, Gil Cisneros, Gabe Amo. You had some leaders of some unions like Randy Weingarten, and Reverend William J. Barber, Reverend Dr. William J. Barber came. You had Becky Pringle from the NEA. So you had several people throughout the day that came. I'm glad that something is being done, but we need more of this. We need more media coverage of this. We need people to be, hey, L Love, how you doing, my love? We need more people to know it's not enough to do it. You need to get in front of cameras. You need to be vocal. You need to be loud about this. You need to have a real loud voice about this. And I not only want you to do this, but I also want you to use every loophole within your power within the halls of Congress, because it's one thing for us citizens to stage sit-ins and all of these things as we protest and we join you, but you all sit in the halls of Congress, and there are things that you could do. There are loopholes that you can afford yourself to. There are absolute things that you can get done. If you really want to protest, break all of the rules. That's what y'all need to be doing. Y'all need to be saying, damn decorum, damn all of the rules, because y'all threw decorum out of the rules, out of the window long time ago. Y'all threw standing rules out of Congress a long time ago. Damn all of that. Whatever parliamentary procedure we can make, whatever loophole we have, we are going to use that. That's where we are. And if you are going to stage a sit-in, you need to you need way more cameras. This is getting no news. Nobody's talking about this. This isn't making the mainstream social media highlights. I don't even see legacy media even talking about this. It's as if this was a tree that fell in the ocean. I mean, I'm in the woods and nobody was there. Hey, Brittany Janae. Anybody heard this on their local news? Anybody saw this on the mainstream legacy outlets? And if they did, it was a quick blip. I'm just saying. Um, L Love, yes, they have already, and I forgot to mention this last week. There are indigenous and Native Americans that have also been rounded up in ICE raids. I forgot to mention that last week, and I may have to talk about it this week, but several indigenous tribes have already reported that scores of dozens and dozens of their tribe members have been rounded up in ICE raids mistakenly. Ain't no sneaking in, Angela. We see you. Hey, Pinky Tiki. Hey, Angela. But yeah, this is not getting enough news, and y'all have to move the needle. That's one of your biggest issues. You aren't letting the people know what it is that you're doing. Because right now, the American people think y'all ain't doing a fuck thing. Moving on. That young man who has a hell of a head of hair. Now, that's a head of hair if I ever seen one. Ciao. Um, A Michigan State House member has launched a left-wing primary challenge to Representative Sri Thinator, who's a Democrat. That's who you see on screen. Um, Thanator, excuse me. That's Representative Sri Thanator, who's a Democrat of the great state of Michigan. Well, a Michigan State House member has launched a primary against him. Now, Representative Thanator has been is a two-term House member now. However, State Representative Donovan McKinney, who's a Democrat, called out Representative Thanator in his when he announced that he was running in the primary for his seat today. Said that he is out of touch with his constituents as a multimillionaire, while his district is one of the poorest in the country. Quote, people like our Congressman Sri Thanator are the problem. A multimillionaire who spent millions to buy a seat in Congress, who has more in common with Donald Trump and Elon Musk than people like us. End of quote. Now, Representative Thanator has defended himself against scrutiny of how he used his $1.9 million congressional budget. The Detroit News reported earlier this month that receipts showed Representative Thanator spent $930,000 from his congressional budget on advertisements that promoted himself while facing primary challengers last spring. Representative Thanator has said the expenses weren't related to his campaign and were intended to conduct outreach to constituents who needed help from the federal government. State Representative McKinney, though, accused U.S. Representative Thanator of buying his election, adding that voters deserve a Democratic Party that, quote, leads the fight against billionaires robbing us blind, end of quote, and opposes corporate PACs. He mentioned his background growing up near smokestacks and often moving around as a kid, living in an apartment, family members' houses, or a car. Quote, I'm running for you because, like all of you, I know we deserve better. This is my home. This is our community. This is our future. End of quote. I'm here for it. I'm here for primarying anybody in Congress. Nobody is off limits. Baby, if you want to, if they're on the Democratic side, if you want to primary them, baby, I'm here for it. Now, those of you all in the great state of Michigan, if this is your district and Representative Thanader is your Congress member, you may need to go and decide on whether you could make what your choice is, because State Representative Donovan McKinney of the great state of Michigan is running against him. Yes, Donovan McKinney is black. He is a black man. I don't know if that means anything to you, but he is a black man. Donovan McKinney of the great state. He is a progressive. And he's a he's a member. Hey, Miss Baythang. Now I can't tell you who to vote for, but primary season is upon us. In more news, that young man right there is Representative Jerry Connolly. He is the ranking member and highest Democrat and top Democrat on the powerful House Oversight Committee. Well, he announced today, and he's out of the great Commonwealth of Virginia. He announced today that he would be stepping down from his position as ranking member. He's 75 years old and has been in Congress since 2009. He represents Northern Virginia, including Fairfax County. But he said that he would be stepping down. Now, we found out that he's stepping down next year due to his cancer returning. He said that he will not be seeking re-election as he's battling cancer. And so we're praying for his recovery. But listen, like I said, everybody, it's open season on everybody. Representative Connolly, you ain't did a whole lot. You're another one of those centrist establishment Democrats who ain't did a whole lot for us. Baby, everybody can go. Y'all are not serving us. Y'all ain't doing us no good. Baby, you're not helping us on the oversight committee. Baby, go with God. We're praying for your speedy recovery, but we have nothing else for you, sir. Sir, go with God. 60 Minutes, as we talked earlier about President Trump's attack on the media a week or so ago, a couple weeks ago, we spoke to the fact that he attacked 60 Minutes because they did a piece on him, and he attacked CBS, saying that CBS should have their broadcast license revoked because 60 Minutes did a scathing a scathing news segment on him. And now because of Trump's open rebuke, because the higher ups at all of these media conglomerates are billionaires that have lined the pockets of Donald Trump and all of his sycophants, the powers that be are starting to apply pressure. So much pressure that Bill Owens, who's the executive producer the long-standing executive producer at 60 Minutes, resigned last week. Well, Scott Pelley, on behalf of his other 60 Minutes correspondents, at the end of yesterday's show, had some words. Here's his words.
In tonight's Last Minute, a note on Bill Owens, who until this past week was executive producer of 60 Minutes. He was our boss. Bill was with CBS News nearly 40 years, 26 years at 60 Minutes. He covered the world, covered combat, the White House. His was a quest to open minds, not close them. If you've ever worked hard for a boss because you admired him, then you understand what we've enjoyed here. Bill resigned Tuesday. It was hard on him and hard on us, but he did it for us and you. Stories we pursued for 57 years are often controversial. Lately, the Israel-Gaza war and the Trump administration. Bill made sure they were accurate and fair. He was tough that way. But our parent company, Paramount, is trying to complete a merger. The Trump administration must approve it. Paramount began to supervise our content in new ways. None of our stories has been blocked, but Bill felt he lost the independence that honest journalism requires. No one here is happy about it. But in resigning, Bill proved one thing. He was the right person to lead 60 Minutes all along.
You do not see this happen. You do not see correspondents speaking against all of the higher ups. Now, y'all might say it was mild-mannered, but that right there was complete castigation of Paramount, of the CBS C-suites, and everybody involved with that media organization. They spoke to the fact that they are capitulating to this organization, to this administration, for the benefits of a merger that they're trying to make happen. They called their ass out, and you don't normally have that. You don't have that. Listen, you have to have people that are unafraid to speak truth to power and unapologetic, even if that power comes from the people who are signing your paycheck. We have to have more of this. Because let's be clear, what Donald John and his administration wants is they want entities like 60 Minutes to go away and be replaced by entities and organizations that will just applaud everything that this administration does. And it's not just Paramount. Every media conglomerate, all of them are in the capitulation stage. All of them have gone full out #Bohica for the purposes of whatever it could do to line their pockets and their coffers. They want these they want these mergers, they want these stocks to go up. They want all of these things, and if the president is already in the pockets of all of the billionaires, they're going to do everything to keep him happy. If they know that the FTC or the SEC or the FCC has to be involved with approving these mergers, and the Trump and the people in charge with making those decisions are aligned with this administration, they're going to do everything they can to appease them. So every time he goes on social media and calls out these government entities, not government entities, these media corporations, he's doing it to let those C-suites and higher up knows to you better go check those correspondents. You better go check that White House reporter. You better go check that bitch that had something negative to say about me in that piece they had. You do not see this, y'all. Now, we're in a day where we didn't think we would have to see this, but here we are. Here the fuck we are. In more sugar spiky news, now Governor J.B. Pritzker is in the news because of the great state of Illinois. He had some choice words. And what the people are saying is, we need more Democrats that's going to speak truth to power. And we need Democrats that's going to act like they have a pair and say it with their chest like this.
Never before in my life have I called for mass protests, for mobilization, for disruption, but I am now. These Republicans cannot know a moment of peace. They have to understand that we will fight their cruelty with every megaphone and microphone that we have. We must castigate them on the soapbox and then punish them at the ballot box.
That's a sitting governor. That's it. Fuck all this bullshit. Yes, go protest. Abso-fucking-lutely. Don't go out there and try to play nice with people who don't play nicely. We're going to scream at you from the soapbox and fuck you up from the ballot box. We do not, because you got so many people that are out here saying, oh, well, we need to act nicely. Oh, well, let's just wait around we'll try to do what we can at the midterms. I'm just saying. Somebody got to start saying some shit. I'm just saying. I was here for it. Moving on. Listen, before I do this story, let me give you a disclaimer. Can I get somebody to put trigger warning in the chat? Just put trigger warning in the chat. Trigger warning to anyone. Hold on. Hold on. Let me do a trigger warning. Hold on. Cause I don't want, I don't want y'all to say that I did not warn y'all. Cause this story may make you physically ill, or it may make you want to fight if you have children. I'm just telling you now, trigger warning. A former Indiana elementary school teacher who forced a special needs student to ingest his own vomit reached a plea deal earlier last week that will keep her out of prison and out of the classroom. Sarah Seymour, a former life skills teacher at Brown Elementary School in Brownsville, Indiana, was sentenced after she pleaded guilty to one count of neglect of a dependent, a misdemeanor. In exchange for her plea deal, I don't even know how she got a plea deal. The court dismissed an additional charge of failure to make a report. In February of 2023, Ms. Seymour had told the 7-year-old victim he would have to eat whatever he threw up. The neurodivergent child indeed vomited, at which point Deborah Knipe, a teacher's aide, provided the child with a spoon. Oh, I can't make this out. I could not make this out. Not only did they provide the child with the spoon, they forced the child to eat his own vomit, and whatever he did not, and the remnants that were left over, he was forced to clean up. According to court documents, Miss Seymour, the lady who you see here, the teacher involved, she was sentenced to 365 days in jail. However, all but 2 of those days were suspended due to probation. And she was also given credit for time served, even though she only served 2 days in jail of that 365 days she was sentenced to. And got credit for time served. Listen, The people I know, baby, the worst thing in the world is you being let out of jail. Because the people I know, that's what they want. Oh, y'all let this bitch out? Okay. Okay. Let me say again. This was a special needs child who said they had to vomit. The child vomited. The teacher's aide came over, gave the child a spoon, and then the teacher forced said child to eat their own vomit. And then the parts that they didn't eat, they said, oh, you got to clean that up too. Listen, I don't know what y'all want from me. Where's Larry? I can't deal with you people.
Oh, God. You see, this is the part that I like.
Major sugar spike.
So loved the world, I want to fight. That he gave his only begotten son.
Major sugar spike.
And shall ever believe.
Major sugar spike.
They shall not perish, but have everlasting life.
Taste the biscuit.
Jesus!
I wish somebody help me.
Now listen, the people I know, they are applying. Oh, you let this bitch out? Okay. Now they're saying in the court order, they're not going to keep her on house arrest, but they want her to remain indoors between the hours of 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. with no contact with the victim. And she's going to have her teaching license revoked and won't be able to have any jobs that deals with children under the age of 18. Baby shark, do. Let her out. Cause I promise you, if it's one of us, let that bitch out. I'm just saying. I'm trying to tell you, Ronnie, she wouldn't have made it to that court. No, ma'am. Not looking the way she looking. Like she look, hey, Yana, she looking like she just glad about it. Like she got this look on her face like, and what, bitch? Okay. All right. Okay. Handled. She'll be handled. Child. In more sugar spiky news, more than 100 people joined a die-in protest. The HRC, the Human Rights Campaign, on last Thursday, they held a die-in in front of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services to protest this administration's cuts to HHS programs. The cuts target programs and research on a wide variety of social and public health issues, including sexually transmitted infections, mental health, suicide prevention, gender-affirming care, cancer prevention, elder care, substance use, harm reduction, and homelessness, all of which had their funding cut by this administration. Now, the HRC, the Human Rights Campaign, which is one of the largest LGBTQ plus non-for-profit organizations, they held this die-in because of the wide-ranging effects and far-reaching effects that these cuts will have on the LGBTQ plus community, which could result in deadly consequences for members of the Rainbow Coalition compound, especially for those members of the Rainbow Coalition compound that are Black, Hispanic, or people of color. Members of the minorities and marginalized groups are exponentially more affected by suicide, mental health, and other things that are affected by these cuts. And so I'm here for it. They had a whole die-in, hundreds gathered there. There were that were there were 100 people there where they were protesting. They refused to move. There were a few that were arrested, but they plan to have more protests like these at these government buildings and government agencies, and we're here for it. In more sugar spiky news, another trigger one. Hey, Gabby. Let me put the trigger warning back up. Hold on. Trigger warning again. Trigger warning again. John Jessup, who you see on the right, he's a Republican politician from the great state of Indiana. Yeah, Indiana, y'all own one today, Indiana. The last trigger warning was from Indiana. He was elected to local office, although he has been sentenced to 6 to 15 years in prison after admitting to sexually assaulting his daughter during her 21st birthday celebration in Las Vegas. Let me say that again because I don't know if y'all heard me. He was elected to local office despite the fact that he's been sentenced to 6 to 15 years in prison after admitting to sexually assaulting his daughter during her 21st birthday celebration in Las Vegas. The former Hancock County Commissioner took his daughter, Rachel Kiesling, the daughter on the left, to Harrah's, Las Vegas in January of this year for what was supposed to be a milestone birthday trip. Instead, prosecutors say Mr. Jessup pushed her to drink excessively, giving her multiple Long Island iced teas despite her protests, and later assaulted her after she passed out in their hotel room. Court records revealed that Mr. Jessup had taken his daughter gambling and drinking throughout the night. After a visit to a strip club, the daughter became so intoxicated she needed to be wheeled back to her hotel. It was there that she fell unconscious and woke up to find her father sexually assaulting her. He stopped only when she stirred awake. Now, he pleaded guilty to this, and a part of the plea agreement, as a part of the plea agreement, Mr. Jessup pleaded guilty to attempted sexual assault and will now have to serve at least 6 years in prison. He is also barred from contacting his daughter or other family members and must register as a sex offender. Now, Rachel Kiesling, who has since changed her last name and publicly spoken out against her father, described the lasting impact the assault has had on her mental health, including struggles with PTSD and severe anxiety. Shockingly, Mr. Jessup was elected to a Hancock City Council seat even as the accusations became public. He has since resigned from that position following his conviction. Oh, what?
Oh, God. You see, this is the part that I like.
Major sugar spike.
So long, I want to fight. That he gave his only begotten son.
Major sugar spike.
And who shall ever believe?
Major sugar spike.
They shall not perish, but have everlasting life.
Taste the biscuit.
Jesus!
I wish somebody help me.
I had to move on. I needed Larry to come clean that up for me because I don't know what y'all got going on today. I just read the fucking stories. I don't know what y'all want from me. I'm just saying. I don't know what y'all want from me. I don't know what y'all want from me. I simply have to read the stories. In our last sugar spiky story, thank you, sweet 7-pound, 3-ounce baby Jesus. Well, Sheen told y'all that this was going to happen, and now it has. So did Temu. Let's read this. Sheen Group Limited raised the U.S. prices of its products from dresses to kitchenware ahead of imminent tariffs on small parcels in an early sign of the potential effect of the trade war on American consumers. Most of the hikes in U.S. prices came on Friday, with markups significantly higher in some categories than others. According to data compiled by Bloomberg News, the average price for the top 100 products in the beauty and health category increased by 51% from Thursday to Friday, with several of the items more than doubling in price. For home and kitchen products and toys, the average jump was more than 30%, led by a 377% increase in the price of a 10-piece set of kitchen towels. For women's clothing, the rise was 8%. Oh, if it wasn't bad enough that there were tariffs, your Trump administration also announced that there will be an increase in the per postal item fee to $100 after this coming Thursday, and a higher increase in per postal item fees after June 1st. I just report the stories. I don't know what y'all want from me. I just report the stories. That's it. That's all. As we delve out of the sugar spike segment and deeper into the dossier, congratulatory tweets and messages and praise is being sent to Outkast as they have been selected for the Rock and Roll to be inductees in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame class of 2025, along with Salt and Pepper. So you have Outkast and Salt and Pepper, who will be receiving their inductions into the 2025 class of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Also in that class are Chubby Checker, Cyndi Lauper, Soundgarden, The White Stripes, and Bad Company. I'm here for Cyndi Lauper. I'm here for Outkast, and I'm here for Salt and Pepper. Who I'm not here for, or I should say, what I'm not here for, is the fact that once again, my girl was nominated, and y'all keep robbing my girl Mariah. The Lambs are not going to take this sitting down. Y'all not just going to keep disrespecting our girl who holds many of the records in terms of album sales, number ones for not just female artists, but for all artists, male and female. We're not just going to let y'all keep disrespecting my queen, Mariah. Mariah should have been in 10 years ago, 15 years ago. But us Lambs, we're used to it. We vividly remember the Grammys in the year of our Lord 1909, in the year of our Lord 1996, when my girl Mariah got robbed after the Daydream album broke every record known to man. Had the record for longest standing number one with One Sweet Day being 16 weeks, that didn't get broke until recently with Lil Nas X. And y'all robbed her at those Grammys. Remember that? Those of us that are old enough to remember. So we know y'all ain't shit. Y'all ain't shit. But they've been doing this a long time. They just really started letting people in that should have been in a long time ago. Y'all ain't shit. Fuck you people and fuck your lives. Shout out to Outkast. We're here for Outkast. We're here for Cyndi Lauper. We're here for Salt and Pepper. So we reported on Saturday about the Shedeur Sanders situation, right? And how he didn't get drafted to the 5th round. We talked about that. Now, I also reported on Silly Saturday that a prank call was made to Shedeur Sanders, acting as if they were one of the NFL execs. Well, all of the details of that is coming out. The video came out. Now, the guy you see in the middle, his name is Jay Ulrich. He is the son, he's the 21-year-old son of the guy you see on the far right, who happens to be the defensive coordinator of the Atlanta Falcons. I'm just setting this up for you. The guy in the middle is 21-year-old Jeff Ulbrich. He is the 21-year-old son. I'm sorry, it's Jax Ulbrich, excuse me. The guy in the middle is Jax, Jax Ulbrich. The guy on the far right is Jeff Ulbrich, his dad. His dad is the defensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons. And when I told y'all about that prank call that was made to Shedeur, here's the prank call.
Hey, is this Shedeur? Hey, this is Mickey Loomis here, the GM of the New Orleans Saints. How you doing? This is Mickey Loomis here, GM of the Saints.
How you doing?
Good, how are you, man?
Good, been waiting on you.
Yeah, we have. It's been a long wait, man. We're going to take you with our next pick right here, man.
This ain't gonna be nothing to do.
Hey, but you're going to have to wait a little bit longer, man. Sorry about that.
What does that mean? What? What'd he say? I don't know. How you gonna ask us what it means and you was on the phone? You heard that?
You said you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Why did he call? What the fuck? Hey, that's I don't know what that was. It's 50-50. But nobody got this number though.
It was private. Huh?
Well, the Atlanta Falcons released this statement. Earlier in the week, Jax Albrecht, the 21-year-old son of defensive coordinator Jeff Albrecht, unintentionally came across the draft contact phone number of Shedeur Sanders off an open iPad while visiting his parents' home and wrote the number down to later conduct a prank call. Jeff Albrecht was unaware of the data exposure or any facets of the prank and was made aware of the above only after the fact. The Atlanta Falcons do not condone this behavior and send our sincere apologies to Shedeur and his family, who we have been in contact with to apologize to, as well as to facilitate an apology directly from Jax to the Sanders family. We have also been in contact with the NFL and will continue to cooperate fully with any inquiries we may receive from the NFL league office. We are thoroughly reviewing all protocols and updating if necessary to help prevent an incident like this from happening again. Then the Jax boy decided that he would write this on his social media. On Friday night, I made a tremendous mistake. Shedeur, what I did was completely inexcusable, embarrassing, and shameful. I'm so sorry I took away from your moment. It was selfish and childish. I could never imagine getting ready to celebrate one of the greatest moments of your life, and I made a terrible mistake and messed with that moment. Thank you for accepting my call earlier today. I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive me. Here's my question. Here's my question. Why does the defensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons still have a job? You have to have real consequences. I don't want to hear no unintentional. All of this was intentional and deliberate. There's no such animal as you telling me he unintentionally got the phone number. You have to write a fucking phone number down or take a picture of it or some kind of you have to intentionally get that information. One. Two, in order to make a prank phone call, you were deliberate and intentional. But here's why. Before I get to the fuck shit of the son, here's why the father needs to have his ass fired. The father needs to be fired because what that means is even if I go with your story about the father not knowing that his son unintentionally doing that, on my own job, if I leave my laptop open and secure information that belongs to people that should not get out is gotten because I forgot to use the company VPN, because I left my laptop open, because I forgot to secure information, guess what happens? My ass got to roll up to HR and my ass got to explain some shit and my ass is probably going to be fired. So the fact that what that also means is y'all have a breach of information because now I cannot trust. If I'm to go along with y'all's story, I cannot trust that sensitive information from this team, confidential information from this team won't get out. Aren't y'all real super confidential about the plays that y'all have in y'all system? Who's to say that this same Jack's son of Jeff won't unintentionally screenshot all of the plays for the Atlanta Falcons defense and or offense and send them to other teams out there so that can help them the other team know the plays and maybe they go and bet against the Atlanta Falcons and now they make a whole bunch of money that way. This is what I'm talking about. Why does he have a job? Why does Jeff damn the son? Because if you expect me to believe that an NFL coach, if I'm going to go along with you, NFL coaches that are so sensitive and secretive about their information that they develop hand signals so that you never know things about what they're doing. And he haphazardly got just his laptop nearly willy just open for his son to go do all of this. And then for his son to go and do this, oh, he needs to be fired. Why do you have a job? Why is Jeff Albrecht not only fired, but banned from having another job within the NFL? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You not only should be fired from your current job, but you should be banned from working in the NFL again. Because you can't get your son in line. Because you thought that your raggedy ass son could be okay with this information. Because if you expect me to believe that this dad just happened to leave his laptop open and his son got it, I don't believe no parts of that. I believe the dad absolutely knew what the son was doing. I absolutely believe that the son knew. The dad knew exactly what the son was doing. Why do you have a job? Why do you have a job? And we're talking the NFL, one of the largest entities and the most profitable entities and organizations in the world. And you want to expect me to believe that this just nilly-willy gets out there like that? Right. It's a prank, but it's recorded, right? But here's the deal, Gabby. I can't even blame you know your son. You know your raggedy ass son ain't shit. I blame the daddy. You allowed the information out there. Mm-hmm. Now, if you want to go fuck him up afterwards, you need to fuck yourself up first. He does not need to have a job. And he needs to be banned from ever having a job within the NFL. I'm sure they'll hire you for a college coaching position, high school or somewhere. I don't know. Maybe the CFL. I don't know. But these jobs are so few and far between. There are only 32 people on this earth that has the job of defense coordinator for an NFL team. Only 32 individuals on the entire planet currently have the title of defensive coordinator for an NFL team. And y'all think he need to have his job? That lucrative of a position where he's getting paid probably million. Let me see what his salary is. Hold on. According to sportingnews.com, Jeff Albrecht currently makes $1.6 million as defensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons. $1.6 million. So you expect me to believe that he should continue to have his job making $1.6 million as the defensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons, and you nilly-willy letting your son just take sensitive and confidential information off your laptop. Because I don't make nowhere near what you make, sir. And if I leave my laptop open and my company information is exposed, I'm going to lose my job. I think it was intentional. I think it was deliberate. Here we are. Thomas Dexter is in the news. Now, Thomas Dexter announced during church service yesterday that this September that he'd be stepping down as head pastor of the Potter's House down to the Dallas, Texas. And he announced that his daughter and her husband, Sarah Jakes Roberts, and her husband, Torrey Roberts, they would be heading the new mega church. They would be the new leaders, of the mega church. Now, people are saying that, it has, this comes in the wake of his heart attack and so forth. I think some of his attorneys got to him and legal advisors said, listen, there's a whole Diddy trial that's about to start in a couple weeks. There's a lot of information that's about to come out. Bruh, just go and sail off into the sunset. We don't need you to be the face of this multi-million-dollar church and organization. Go ahead and let Sarah and Torrey take over, because you got other things to worry about. But Thomas Dexter announced that he's stepping down as the lead pastor. Now, here's my fear. Nope. I thought that was the other sister, Cora. Was that Sarah? I thought that was the other sister. I thought that was Cora with the baby. Y'all said that was Sarah. I can't remember which one it was. Now listen. My question, not my question, but Fred, here's my concern. That was Cora. Okay. I thought that was Cora. Now here's my question. Or rather, my concern. With all of this extra time that Thomas Dexter is about to have on his hands, I'm afraid for what this means for a whole lot of people, for a whole lot of menses out here that's going to find pictures of him, flexing and shit, and they inbox and shit. How many people trying to get in the ministry that he going to allegedly feel up on and rub on and allegedly try to kiss in the mouth? I'm concerned about how now it's open season for him to do whatever the hell he want to do. For him to be out there getting it how he lived down to the Dallas area. That means it's open season. He can have his own parties, okay? Damn the Diddy parties. Now we got the TD parties, okay? Shout out to the TD parties. Hashtag TD parties. Because now this man has all the time in the world to do whatever he want to do. I'm just saying. Child. Now we don't heard the story. You done had former adjutants and armor bearers that done told stories on Thomas Dexter, allegedly, and all of his fuckery and fuck shit. You done had what's the man name over there that got the lawsuit? I can't remember the man name. Y'all know who I'm talking about. You got him, and his brother said he had an incident with him as well. You over there finagling and playing around with Diddy. Hey, LC. They said that he might resign, and he never fully did it. But what I'm saying is, yeah, you gonna put it off as you having a whole ass heart, and you're concerned about your health and the heart attack and shit. The trial is getting ready to start in another what? How many more weeks? We got like 2 weeks before this trial starts. Is your name gonna come up in some shit, Thomas Dexter? We want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. But I'm afraid for men in and around the Dallas Metroplex and what that means for them. Because we knew that you like to be around here allegedly making unwanted advances on men trying to get into the ministry. Right. He's free to do the swallowed. Yes, Dwayne Youngblood. Thank you, Catherine Powell. Is there going to be swallowing going on now that this young man has more time on his hands? Now, Ronald, I don't believe that he's going to step away completely. I believe he's certainly going to have his hands in certain things, and he's certainly going to be a lot of the organizations, the LLCs and 501c3s and stuff. He certainly ain't letting go of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure he'll have his name in there to continue to make money perpetually. But I'm concerned. I'm very concerned. Look at Really B. She is going live. Let me hurry up because I got to get y'all over there. Latocha Scott is in the news real quick. I think Really B may cover this. Latocha Scott says she made an appearance on the Nene Leakes show. I think that's a little podcast or whatever. Well, she claims that she felt abandoned by her sister and the group after they allegedly proceeded with tours without informing her, right? And she claims that she has she owns the name Escape. She says that they should not be performing using the name Escape because she says she owns the name. Now, she says that she puts Tamika's name, she put her sister Tamika's name on it at some point, but she says she owns the name to Escape. And she don't get how they performing without her consent. Baby, I ain't got nothing to do with it. You ain't shit. Your raggedy ass husband ain't shit. You ain't been shit for a long time. If there was any claim to this, or if you could really stop them, I guarantee you would have stopped them a long time ago. I'm of the belief that between Candy and Tiny, I'm of the belief that they got enough lawyers and people involved that if there was a situation where you own the name Escape, we would have known that by now, and they would have had a comfortable name to use so people know it's Escape. Y'all know how, like, for example, one of my favorite groups, the Stylistic. The lead singer, what his name, Ronald Thompson, he left the Stylistics. And even though the rest of the group has ownership of the name of Stylistics, he calls his group Ronald Thompson and the Stylistics. So as to not get sued. You know, they do things like that. I just don't believe none of Latocha Scott. But we'll find out. The Philadelphia Eagles, they went to they were supposed to go see the president either today or tomorrow, you know, to celebrate their Super Bowl victory. Our boy Jalen Hurts, fine ass, I ain't going. I have a scheduling conflict. I'm not going. I ain't with that fuck shit. I'm not going over there. Several other players also said they had scheduling conflicts. Y'all boy Saquon Barkley said he'll be there with bells on. He was out there golfing with Donald John this weekend. And he said, y'all not gonna make him feel bad about the fact that he wanted to go out there and do a round of golf and do several rounds of golf with Donald John. He's here for it. What do y'all expect? I mean, y'all really expect better from him? Y'all expect better from this guy? That's him and his wife. Y'all expect better from him? Y'all did? That's him and his wife. Y'all expect better from him? Okay. I'm just asking. They went today. Oh, okay. Our boy Jalen Hurts, who's married to a beautiful black queen, said, "Oh, I ain't got the type of time. I have I have a scheduling conflict." So did several other so did several other players. We're moving on. I don't have the time today to drag this bitch like I should. Xavier, don't go nowhere because I got a story for you too, Xavier. We almost finished. I might spend tomorrow dragging this man, but Terrence Howard claims that he couldn't play Marvin Gaye in a biopic after Quincy Jones allegedly confirmed that Marvin Gaye was gay. He said, "quote I could not. They would have wanted they would have wanted to do that, and I wouldn't have been able to do that. No, because I don't fake it." I'm sorry. Let me tell you his this was when he during an appearance on Club Random podcast with Bill Maher. Terrence Howard revealed that he once turned down playing Smokey Robinson in a biopic because he was already working with Lee Daniels on a potential Marvin Gaye project. However, things took a turn after Quincy Jones allegedly confirmed to Terrence Howard that Marvin Gaye was in fact gay. And so he said, quote, I could not. They would have wanted to do that, and I wouldn't have been able to do that. No, because I don't fake it. I can't play that character 100%. I can't surrender myself to a place that I don't understand. End of quote. I don't have the time today to drag this young man like I want to. I don't have the energy or time today because I got to get y'all over to really be. But I tomorrow I'm gonna make some time tomorrow for you, sir. Sir, go to hell. We sadly have to report on the untimely death of Jiggly Caliente from season 4 of RuPaul's Drag Race, who unfortunately and tragically lost her life at the age of 44. It was reported that she passed away peacefully yesterday. Now, I haven't gotten any information uh, um, on her, except for the fact that they did announce that she had undergone the loss of most of her right leg. Um, because she was a judge for Drag Race Philippines, but I know she had some medical issues and concerns. However, I didn't really look too deep into it. I like to respect people when they going on to the great beyond and to the ancestral plane. So we certainly pray for her family, friends, and loved ones as they mourn her untimely death. In our last story that I'm sure Xavier would love to hear about, that's Drewski, Xavier's boyfriend in his head. Oh, this is not our last story, but we almost there. Drewski was arrested, but he was too big to fit in the car the right way. So they had to lay him sideways like you see there. This was this past October. That's it. That's all. If you live in the great state of New York, I just want y'all to know this, New York delegation, this is coming. They're saying that if you get too many speeding, a new measure is under consideration in New York City that could that would focus on speeders with multiple offenses. They are saying that you could end up with accelerator restrictor technology placed on your car that would prohibit you from going at certain rates of speed. Just telling you what it is. It hasn't been voted on, but they're thinking about doing this. Y'all might want to go down to the city hall when they do this vote. In our last story of the day, Shabuzi, with his little cute dark chocolate self, he's going on tour. He announced the Great American Roadshow tour, where he will be headlining. You can purchase your tickets via Live Nation. Here are the tour dates. On September 22nd, they'll be in Indianapolis. On September 23rd, they'll be in Detroit, Michigan. September 25th, Philadelphia. September 27th, Virginia Beach. September 29th, Nashville. October 1st, Birmingham, Alabama. October 2nd, New Orleans, Louisiana. October 5th in Houston, Texas. October 9th, Fort Worth, Texas. October 12th, St. Petersburg, Florida. October 14th, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And the last date is Orlando, on October 16th at the House of Blues. He's headlining the tour. Go get your tickets. Hear you some good country. Okay. Shout out to Shabuzi. We're here for it. And that's the dossier for today, y'all. I'm way over, and I know Ravine finna go over there and snitch on me. That's okay. Really be no, I love her, and I'm about to because I looked earlier to see if she had set up a live. It hadn't been set up yet. Anyway, did y'all enjoy yourselves today? If you enjoyed yourself today, you enjoyed today's broadcast, go ahead and put a shondo in the chat for me. Go ahead and put a shondo in the chat if you enjoyed today's broadcast today. I hope you did. We'll be back tomorrow. I don't know why that's up there. We'll be back tomorrow with not Teacher Project, with Run Your Mouth. I'm not sure. I got to check with Cams about Red, Blue, and Black because I know he's traveling this week. So I'll check with him just to make sure. But we'll be back tomorrow, certainly with Run Your Mouth. Y'all stay right there. As I always say, I love y'all. I love on y'all. Thank you all for being vocal, present, and active. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for any and all contributions that you make to the channel. They are much obliged and much appreciated. I am going to send you all over to Really Be, where she will be glad to receive you. I will be sending you with a hall pass So don't have nobody go over there and say that I made y'all late for her class, because I'm sending y'all with a hall pass. That's all I got for y'all. Until next time, thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely. I'm out. Love y'all. See y'all tomorrow.